What is going on, people of the SmartHouse Society? Matt here from mksmarthouse.com, and in this video we're going to be talking about this, the LaMetric Time. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to connect the LaMetric Time to both OpenHAB and Home Assistant, as well as show you how to get a notification to pop up on it once a door sensor like this is opened. So those of you that don't know, the LaMetric Time is basically a multifunctional clock. So the entire front of this is display. They're mini LEDs, and they're multicolor as well. But my favorite thing is connecting it to OpenHAB and Home Assistant, so that way I can get notifications and show different things on the front of the display. It also has a YouTube subscriber count, it has radio, it has clock, stopwatch, you can connect Spotify, you can connect your Amazon Echo and Google Assistant to it. The possibilities with this are absolutely endless. I bet if we took apart the LaMetric Time, we would find that it is made on a custom PCB. Speaking of PCB companies, a company that I like to order PCBs from is PCBWay. PCBWay is a company that specializes in high quality PCBs, prototyping, PCB assembly, and SMD stencil. Their PCBs are high quality, low cost, and they have amazingly fast turnaround time. They recently just passed their 5-year anniversary, which means they've been in business for quite a long time. They have absolutely amazing reviews on their website, and people rave over these PCBs. The link to PCBWay is in the description, and if you use the cash code on the screen now, you can save $5 off your order. So head on over to PCBWay.com today. So what are some use cases for the LaMetric Time? Well, the biggest one is you can set it up to get notifications. So if you turn on your sprinklers, you can get a notification here. Say somebody enters your house through the door sensor, you can get a notification. So it's a very good notification device, and so in my opinion, the best use case for this is a notification device for your smart home. I will leave a link in the description where you can pick up the LaMetric Time and read more about the functions that it can do. Also in the description, follow MK-SmartHouse on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat, as well as Discord, because those are places where smart home enthusiasts like you belong. Before we get into this guide, I would like to mention that this guide assumes that you already have the LaMetric Time set up using the instructions provided by LaMetric. So that just means the basic functions such as getting it set up with Wi-Fi and having a LaMetric account. But that being said, let's get into the guide. If you'd like to see Home Assistant and how we connect the LaMetric Time to Home Assistant, then skip to this timestamp on the screen now. But if you're on OpenHAB, then just continue watching. So I recommend having my website open up. The link is in the description to this exact guide. So this guide I right now have a Google Doc, but by the time this video is out, it'll be on my website on a website page. So I recommend having it open so that way you can easily follow along, as well as copy and paste if anything is required. So we're going to be basically following this guide first on OpenHAB. It's their official LaMetric guide. And so we're just going to be following this. Everything that I talk about came from here. So if you want somewhere to look to, if you need help with anything, look at that guide, which will be linked in my guide. Well, I should be making it easier in my guide than theirs was. So here's the first thing that we're going to do is go into our web administration portal. So we're going to go to 192.168 to the IP address. And then we're going to go to Paper UI. And now we're going to go into add-ons, then we're going to go into bindings, wait for the stupid fridge to, then we're going to go into bindings, type in LaMetric Time, and press install. If it loads like this for a long time, then just press this refresh button up here, and then type in LaMetric Time one more time, LaMetric. There we go, it is installed. We're going to go into Paper UI, then we're going to go into Inbox. We're going to press search for things, LaMetric Time binding, then we're going to press add manually, and then we want to do LaMetric Time. So this is how we're going to add the LaMetric Time, but we're going to need a couple parameters from the LaMetric Time dev portal. So we're going to go to this link that's in my guide, and it's going to ask you to log in. So log in with the email that you use for your LaMetric Time. Alright, so then once you're in the main developer portal, we're going to need something called the API key, which is specific to this device. So what you want to do is once you're in, you want to go to where your name is, go to My Devices, And here is your API key. So you're going to want to copy this and then paste it in here into the paper UI. And so for the host, you're going to need the IP address of your LaMetric Time. So you can get this from going to your router. So I'm going to go into my router real quick. And here is my LaMetric. So I'm just going to copy this IP address. Now after this video is done, I'm going to give it a static IP address, which is what I recommend you doing as well. So then just paste it in there. Oh, I added a couple spaces. And if you want, you can give it a different name if you want. And other than that, all you need is the host and the API key, and then you can just press this check mark. Alright, now we just tap on LaMetric Time, and as you can see it says online, which means that it's successfully connected to the LaMetric from OpenHAB. So now once we are in paper UI and we see all of this, just simply go through, press on all the circles, press create new item, and just leave everything as is and just keep pressing link. There we go, we got volume. Now we're going to do application, so you just press create new and link. Same thing with the display, create new item, link, and repeat that for all of them. Now you might think that you're done, but actually there's a show more button right here. You press that and it gives you more things. So you just keep going through, linking the channels to new items. Alright, now if we go back to our paper UI inbox, and we press search for things and LaMetric time binding. Now if we go back to inbox, you can see that more things popped up that are LaMetric related. So you want to add all of them except for the one that says LaMetric time, since we already added that. So just press the check mark next to clock, add as thing. Press the check mark next to radio, add as thing. Stopwatch, timer, and weather. Now if we go back into configuration and things, we have all of this. So if we go into the clock, you can go ahead and link these guys up. Same thing like we did for the LaMetric time, just create new item and press link. Alright, what's next? Radio. Link that one up. There we go. Once all those are linked up, you are pretty much good to go. So if we go into control, we should be able to see all of our LaMetric stuff. So we can, for example, let's see here, we can adjust the display brightness. And as you can see, it's adjusting on the LaMetric over there. So I can adjust the display brightness. What else can we do? You can set an alarm from here if you want. You can disable the alarm. You can do the volume. You should be able to see it on the LaMetric over there. You can change the application you want. So you can change it to, for example, I can change it to my YouTube subscribers. Would you look at that? We're almost at 40,000. Thank you to everyone who subscribed. We can change the radio. We can put it to the radio, or we can put it back to the clock. So this is actually really cool because you can set it like at a different time. You can make it go over to the YouTube subscribers. You can make it go to your clock. You can make different rules for that. Let's see here. We can also, here we can manually set info and notification things. So I can just say hi, and I press check mark. And as you can see on the LaMetric, it came up. And you can also do the warnings and alerts. The difference between info, warning, and alert is they're different priority levels, and some will stay on the screen and some will not. We'll get into that later. And then for weather over here, we can switch it to the forecast. So we can see the forecast. Let's see here. Radio, we can start the radio. We can do a stopwatch if we wanted to. We just have to set a time. Or we can start it, pause it, and reset it. And then, stop. This is what I meant. You can set a timer for right here. We can do 5. And it's going to create a 5-second timer. Alright, Now having everything in the paper UI is cool and all, but let's add it to our basic UI. So to do this, we need to open up Terminal or PuTTY, whatever you use to SSH into your OpenHAB server. So I'm going to do SSH. And the command that we're going to want to run is sudo nano /etc/openhab2/sitemap/home.sitemap. Access our sitemap. Let me just put this in the guide for you guys. It'll ask you for your admin password. Alright, and now this is why you want to have my guide open. You just want to copy all of this. Oh, actually no. You want to copy what's inside here, and then I'm going to put this under my demo frame right underneath it. Paste it in there, and I'm just going to go in and clean it up a little bit. Alright, so I've gone ahead and added or cleaned up the file. So let me go through everything that we added. So we have the frame, so this is going to house all of the different little frames for the LaMetric. Here we have the device controls, so these are just the basic things such as the brightness and the volume. Then you have your different notifications, so this will show you the latest notifications that were sent to the device. Then you have your clock commands, you have your timer commands, radio, stopwatch, and weather. This will be easy visualized when we see it in the basic UI. So now we just press Ctrl X, Y, and Enter to save. Now we can get rid of terminal. Now we go to our basic UI page again. So we're going to go to the main OpenHAB configuration portal and then go to basic UI. And as you can see, we have all of the LaMetric controls in here. So this is everything that we saw in the paper UI, just in a different format. Alright, now we're going to be creating the door sensor rule. So what that means is when this door sensor opens, then the LaMetric time will show a notification. This door sensor is from mksmarthouse.com/shop. If you guys want to pick one up, links in the description. It helps out the channel a lot. So I have already connected the door sensor to this OpenHAB system, and as you can see right here, it's called MK-door sensor 1. And right now it's closed, and if I separate the contacts, it says open. So let's go ahead and create this rule. So I'm going to be using the built-in rules engine that is built into the paper UI now. So I'm just going to go over to rules, press the plus button, new rule, and I'm going to name it MK-door sensor 1 LaMetric notify. And then I'm just going to give it a description. So now we're going to create the plus button of when, and we're going to press the trigger type when an item changes state. And we're going to press next. Now we're going to select an item. So I'm going to find my door sensor. Here it is, MK door sensor 1. So when the previous state was closed, so now it's saying is so when MK door sensor changes from closed to open. So now we're going to press OK, and then we're going to press then. We're going to press send a command, next, item. In terms of notifications, there's 3 different types, and I'm going to scroll through the list and show you which ones are notifications. So there's the alert notification, which is like a alarm, like very, very important. So you want to use this if it's like a fire is happening or something. Then there is the info notification, which is just low key, it just like shows and then disappears. And then there's a warning, which is in between both of those. So since this is a door sensor and it's not that big of a deal, I'm just going to press info notification. And so for the command, I'm just going to write MK door 1 open. And now just press OK. And now since the rule is done, just going to press the check mark to save it. Alright, let's test it out. So I'm going to separate the contacts. Ooh, there we go. As you can see, the notification came up on the LaMetric clock. So right now the door sensor is open. I'm going to close it. And now when I separate the contacts, there we go. Puts a notification on the LaMetric time. And like I said, you can play around with all the different types of notification levels. Alright, at this point you can skip to the end of video for the closing remarks. Timestamps on the screen. Alright, now we're going to connect the LaMetric time to Home Assistant. I recommend having my website open up. Link is in the description, where I have a written guide as well as things to copy and paste and links in there. So I recommend having it open. Right now on my screen I have the Google Doc, but this will be all on the website. So I'm going to be taking some things here and there from the Home Assistant guide, but regardless, we're going to open the Home Assistant guide. And so now, we're just going to be following along a little bit with the Home Assistant guide, especially with the setup steps. So first we have to log into our LaMetric account. So first we have to log into our LaMetric account. This should be the same account that you used to sign in when you set up the LaMetric Time. Now we are logged in. So now we're going to hit the create button. We're going to create a notification app. We're going to call the app Home Assistant. Just going to say the description is Home Assistant. And then for the privacy policy, type in localhost. We just want to do the same things that are on the Home Assistant guide. So yep, that looks good. And now we want to check all of the permissions and press save. Alright, now here we have our client ID for the notification apps. So we're going to need this in a second. Alright, so now we have our client ID, and if we tap on this, it'll give us our client ID and client secret. So now we have to go over to this, the Home Assistant guide for LaMetric. We're going to copy this, and then we're going to go over to our Home Assistant installation. We're going to go to HAS.io, and we're going to open the configurator. Open it in the web UI. And we're just simply going over to our configuration.yaml file. Here we go, here's mine. So I'm just going to put it right here, line 13. Paste in what we got from the guide. And now I'm just going to paste over my client ID. And then I'm also going to grab my client secret. Now I'm going to press save. But that's not the only thing we have to do in the configuration.yaml file. We also need to create this notify thing. Copy this right here. Then go back over to your configuration.yaml file in the configurator, and we're going to paste this in here. And I recommend changing the notifier name to just call it LaMetric. And now we're just going to save. Then we're going to go over to configuration, general, check the config, looks good, and just restart Home Assistant. Alright, now let's create the rule that when the door sensor opens, a notification comes up to the LaMetric Time. Now this is a door sensor from mksmarthouse.com/shop. If you guys are interested, the link is in the description. So I've already gone ahead and set up this door sensor and connected it to Home Assistant. And as you can see right here where my mouse is, if I open the contacts and close them, it changes state. So now let's go ahead and simply create an automation where if this opens, this gets a notification. So I'm going to go over to my guide, and then I'm going to copy this code right here. Then I'm going to go to HAS.io, and then I'm going to open the configurator so that way we can access all of our configuration files. I'm going to open the web UI. I'm going to browse the folder, and I want to find automations.yaml. And now I'm simply just going to paste in the code and press save. Before we go any further, let me explain what all this code does. So first we're naming this automation, we're calling it door sensor. Then we're triggering that when the state of the door sensor changes from closed to open, then it's going to do the action notify.LaMetric. So that's our LaMetric service. And so the message that we're sending is MK door open. And then obviously, quick note, you would replace this entity ID with whatever your entity ID of your device is. And so now this is the data that's going along with our message. We want to do the sound notification, we want to send the icon I620, and we want it to show up one time, and then the priority is going to be info. Now there's 3 different priorities. There's info, warning, and critical, and you want to use each one with the type of message you're sending. So for example, if a fire is happening, you'd want to send critical, but if you just want to do like a notification that a door opens, then you just use info. And cycles is, again, how many times it shows up. And then the icon, you can choose this from LaMetric's icon library. Over here on the Home Assistant guide, if you go to developer.lametric.icons.com/icons, you can see all the different icons that you can use. And all you simply need to know is the number. So for example, if we wanted this color wheel, ID 7660, so then you would just replace this right here. So if I search up right here, 620, here's the info one that I'm using. So like I said, if you find an icon that you like, all you need is the ID number right here, 620, and then you just put an I in front of it. And then same thing for sounds. They have a couple different sounds that you can use that you can find on LaMetric. But anyway, that's it. Now let's go back to configuration, general, and now we're going to check the configuration files. They check out and restart the server. Alright, the Home Assistant server is back up. Let's go ahead and test this out. So I'm going to open the door sensor. There we go. The notification came up. Let's test that out one more time. There we go. It works. Awesome. So you can obviously change everything that I showed you according to what you want. Alright, that is the end of this complete guide for how to connect the LaMetric Time to both OpenHAB and Home Assistant. If you have any questions or need help, go ahead and join my Discord server, the link in the description. Also in the description, you'll find links to all the parts and devices used in this video, as well as a link to mksmarthouse.com/shop, where I have a wide range of smart home kits that you can put together, such as the door sensor. Alright, if you found this video helpful, click that like button, and if you're a smart home enthusiast, then you belong on this channel, so hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below, or join the community over at mksmarthouse.com/forum. Goodbye. Hey, no, no.